What is going on YouTube? Hindenbeck making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as Cardano and the S&P 500 if we have time. As you guys know, we're still doing our crypto coin display giveaway. As you can see here, it's a $130 ticker display that I have in all of my videos, as you can see. And all you have to do to enter to win one of these is just comment your favorite cryptocurrency down below, like XRP, and then comment subscribed. That's it. That's all you have to do. Drawing will be Sunday and I will be checking, and if you're not subscribed you will not win one of these giveaways. So more importantly, what we're going to be looking at in today's video is the rising wedge formation that's actually forming on most of these major cryptocurrencies. Now I do have some great news in regards to the fact that they are starting to head back up, and we've actually fallen down to a vital support level on most of these cryptocurrencies, which are kind of halting our fall and starting to correct back to the upside, which is definitely some great news. There are some cryptocurrencies forming this rising wedge pattern, and then there are some cryptocurrencies just going absolutely insane and monumental. So we do have to look at all of these and kind of figure out what's the next step for cryptocurrency, what's the next step for Bitcoin, what's the next step for XRP, how are we going to be investing into this to capitalize off our runs and our investments. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump into today's episode. Alright guys, now I do have some pretty crazy stuff to look at really quick before we do this. So you can see the SEC versus Ripple. It says the XRP holders uncover video bombshell to throw against the SEC. Now guys, I am currently working on a new video talking about what would happen if XRP wins the SEC lawsuit, which I think is going to be a really good video, giving you guys some insight and maybe just catching you up to date with things that have happened within the lawsuit that maybe not everyone understands or caught on to. So I'm very excited to release that. I'm still working on it and I am recording it, so get ready and be prepared for that one. I'd like to see how you guys react to it. But more importantly, it basically talks about the fact that really it looks like it's only a matter of time before before Ripple wins this lawsuit. So I'm getting pretty excited to see how exactly that's going to reflect on the way the price of cryptocurrency for XRP moves. It's going to be very interesting, but it's pretty much under the understanding that XRP really can't be called a security today, especially when things like Bitcoin and Ethereum have already been called not a security, which is ironic, and I'll explain more in another video. Now, what I want to talk about, moving off of that, is looking at these top 10 cryptocurrencies. You can see off the bat, we're up about 1% overall across the market, and you can see that markets are doing pretty damn well. Solana up 21% on the day, and the other cryptocurrencies are just starting to correct upwards. Now, I want to talk about XRP, and don't get me wrong, we will be talking about XRP, but as I've said, and I'll say it again for these other cryptocurrencies, why this is such a great day, and the great news that I have in regards to this is the fact that we're pretty much bouncing off these bottom supports. And I'm just going to slightly tweak this a little bit lower to kind of make a little more sense in regards to where this bottom support is. We're looking for that third confirmation on XRP to pretty much, create a sound uptrend that is pretty plausible in regards to what it could be bouncing off of. And we only had about 2 confirmations, and this is pretty much going to declare a third, which is good. Now, it's not just XRP forming this uptrend. We have Ethereum forming the uptrend. We have Bitcoin forming the uptrend. The only thing that I have to mention here is when you look at Bitcoin, this looks like a rising wedge. I don't know how else to explain that, but I mean, it'd be hard to argue against it that this isn't a rising wedge. Here's the problem with rising wedges. You can see, for the most part, a rising wedge pattern is a bearish chart pattern that signals an imminent breakout to the downside. It's the opposite of the falling descending wedge pattern, as the two constitute a popular wedge pattern. So where does a falling wedge occur? Similar to a bullish wedge, the rising wedge consists of 2 converging trend lines that connect the most recent higher lows and higher highs in the rising wedge pattern. The lows are catching up with the highs at a higher pace, which means that the lower supporting trend line is steeper. As you guys can see, that's pretty much what's happening. So if we look at Bitcoin's pattern, the lows are catching up much quicker to the high right here, and this is a little bit more steeper than the top, which isn't necessarily a good thing. I mean, they have it pretty much drawn out. It's a lot more crooked than what we have. Whether or not this is an ascending wedge or not, it's just something we have to be prepared for. For most people, they would consider this an ascending wedge, or even maybe just an ascending triangle in regards to that. Granted, we don't have many retests of the top resistance here for us to pretty much say, yeah, this is a top resistance level for Bitcoin. Yes, we know that there's a resistance up here, but we're not like moving up. An ascending triangle would more so be like pings like this that consolidate, showing you guys some sort of ascending triangle. This looks more like that rising wedge pattern, which tends to break bearish in a crooked reversal to the downside. So we have to consider that as prices start to play out. I just want you guys to be prepared. It's not really a worry for me, as we will have the technology available to capitalize off these runs, but I just want to prepare you guys for what could happen if markets decide to crack lower. I'm always trying to do that. As much as we want the bullish outlook and a bullish break to the upside, we have to consider potential reversals, potential corrections to the downside. So moving forward now, looking at XRP, then we'll look at these other cryptocurrencies. You can see I have Bityard pulled up looking at XRP, and this is what we're going to use when the run actually does happen. You can see we're kind of holding on by a thread here. We broke through our 5 and 10-day moving averages. We actually fell down to our 20-day moving average highlighted clearly here, and I'm just going to get rid of that real quick. And you can kind of see, for the most part, there is some sort of logical uptrend here. It does make sense that there is this support. And there is obviously, a resistance at the top. We could just draw that horizontal line clear as day here, where there was, for the most part, like a double top. You can see we're kind of filling in this gap here. So at some point, prices are going to catch back up in this ascending triangle and start retesting our price ceiling and deciding whether or not we're going to be breaking bullish or correcting to the downside. So here's the plan moving forward. Obviously, we have to cover, because I am a conservative trader. I'm not aggressive like some of the other YouTubers out there. Playing this, the safest method for me is looking at this top resistance. I'm going to use the trend line, actually the long-term trend line, which we can draw onto XRP for you guys today. Just really quick, you can see how this trend line forms here, acting as a problem zone. So whether or not we use the downtrend or this resistance, ultimately they are going to come up and retest that. So XRP has a price ceiling clearly set for right now, I would say at $1.30. Anything above $1.30 is pretty much fair game for us to see that big run. Long term, there is a much bigger symmetrical triangle that can very easily play out. If we get rejected again from, I'd say, $1.30, if not maybe lower, $1.22, and we breach this supporting uptrend that we have here. So ultimately, what I'm looking for is how we react when we retest here. Last time we retested it, the last 2 times we got rejected, and we fell back down to a gradual support. That's allowed us to regain momentum and head back to retest it. Hopefully, the 3rd time we get the clearance and confirmation and the volume behind it to pump us up higher. That'd be ideal. And if we do, and we can close above the daily, or we close above this resistance at about $1.34, $1.35, that would basically be enough confirmation to me to say, okay, we're going to see volume coming in now, which should set us up for a week or 2 of bull run, which will allow us to capitalize on that movement by leveraging it on, Bityard, by putting in a market order, which is clear as day here, typing in, 200, 500, whatever, just lowering my leverage because I don't like trading with that much. Putting in 900, whatever, at 11 times trade, and then, clicking buy long if we breach through that resistance, heading back to the upside. Now, another thing that you guys wanted to say, I had somebody say, well, how do you know these candles are 24 hours and Bitcoin is and crypto is constantly trading? So how do you know when a candle actually closes? How do you decide that? Well, if you look all the way to the right side, you can see when I reference my trades on TradingView, I'm normally, focusing and talking about this chart right here. So you can see we're set to the daily, which is right here, and I get options, but I have the daily set. You can see that each candle is now taking about 12 hours currently. It's about 24, but when the new one opens, it will reset. But for right now, there's 12 hours left within this candle. So let's say for a moment we, consolidate back up and we get closer to this resistance and we close above here. So what I mean is, let's say within the day, like today, let's say we're trading above here, and at some point we close above here. This candle, this time runs out and we're still above. That's a good sign to move forward. So that is ideally what we're waiting for. Obviously, playing the devil's advocate to prepare for a potential reversal. And I know you guys go, well, you could buy in long, you can sell short. Yes, of course. As with the weatherman, there are 2 options to trade here. Either markets are going to explode to the upside, we're going to see a ton of rain, or there's a chance we're going to get some sun. Who knows? It's, they can't say 100% until it actually happens. It's just how we can react and prepare for that. If we know there's going to be a superstorm coming, maybe we'll get some gas and, close out our windows or whatever instead of waiting till last minute. That's what we do to make ourselves extra ready for this run. Obviously, I do have Bityard linked in the description, so prepare for this movement to come. That's what I'm doing. Now, for XRP, if we, which probably will happen, consolidate up to here, and we breach the support, and we start closing closer to $1. I mean, honestly, the biggest run would be if we close below $1 resistance. We close it like anywhere below $1. I can immediately tell we're probably going to come back down to this bottom support right here as it fills in the gap here. But honestly, I can easily see if we just get rejected on here, you want to play it slightly moderate. If we close closer to $1.12 or just below this uptrend here, good chance we're going to anticipate a drop. A pretty substantial drop, which isn't a bad thing. That just means the groundhog didn't see a shadow, and we're going to see a few more months of, winter until we, complete this and then see the immediate correction, which will happen soon. Don't get me wrong. Now, Ethereum, because I'm still bullish on all these cryptocurrencies to the upside, is in the same predicament. Still beautiful support, beautiful resistance. If it doesn't get, if it breaks through this resistance, then we are definitely buying in long for a leverage to the upside. Obviously, if the daily closes above like 30, if we close closer to 3,500, it's a bullish run. If we close below our uptrend, the support, we close closer to 2,940. Below 2,800, we know to short it back down to bottom support here, which we can anticipate because it's used it numerous times. Bitcoin, very similar in its, rising wedge, ascending wedge pattern. I don't know why Bitcoin keeps deleting, or TradingView keeps deleting my uptrends. It's annoying when it does that, whatever. You can see for the most part, there is some sort of trend lines that are forming on this crypto. Kind of harder to draw for the most part. We'll jump to the weekly to get a better outlook or overview. You can see we can extend this a little bit lower. I don't know how well this is going to work. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I would just place it like this. Let's just start like this. You can see for the most part, this is what we're looking at. I mean, you could probably extend this even lower. I don't know. I wouldn't use it like that, but maybe something like this. We do have the downtrend right here. We are kind of getting sandwiched here, acting off this resistance, but overall I do believe we're in a bigger supporting uptrend that if we don't break through immediately, we'll consolidate out, bounce off this, and eventually break through it and head back up to all-time highs, 75K, so on and so forth. It's just how are we going to play out with that resistance right now? How are we going to react with that current problem zone that we have? So it's great news in the fact that we are bouncing off this bottom support. It was clear as day. We're still creating higher lows, which is definitely a great sign ultimately, but it's now, okay, we just hit bottom support. Are we going to breach through here and explode to the upside, or are we going to be rejected and fall to the downside, which will be a shorting opportunity if we close below, I would say 45K. It's a big drop to 39, which would ultimately send us down to 32. It's, creating that stop loss. But if we can blast through 50K, close at like 50.5 or 51, it'll give us enough volume to swing to the upside. Big jump to the upside. Cardano, same thing. It's pretty much just going to react with all these other cryptos, so we'll see how exactly we play out. And the S&P 500, once again, continuing its natural pattern. We'll probably see, we had a few days like this of the consolidation. We just had a bounce to the downside. I don't think we're going to fall lower. I'd be shocked if we did, but we might just float like this now and just gradually move higher like we've done consistently over the course of months now. Like I would go back all the way to February of 2021. You can see we kind of fall and then we have this supporting, uptrend slowly that brings us higher. So we just fell again. I'm anticipating another slow, sideways move higher. But otherwise, it's pretty much going to wrap up today's video, guys. Definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, join the giveaway, comment your favorite crypto below. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.